Hello, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching an ABC 10 Plus recap of stories you may have missed. California's Care Court seeks to connect individuals who have schizophrenia and other mental health conditions with services they may need, but its rollout faces criticism. Then we hit the back roads. John Bartel takes us to Fresno to make a pit stop at a roadside attraction so popular that a former president stopped in for a visit. The ABC 10 Plus recap starts right now. We start tonight with continuing coverage of the Davis stabbings retrial. Former UC Davis student Carlos Dominguez was back in court today. He's accused of killing 2 men and injuring 1 woman during a stabbing spree through the city of Davis. It happened in the spring of 2023. Dominguez has remained in custody without bail ever since his arrest. ABC 10 has been covering this case for more than 2 years now.
Last month, it ended in a partial mistrial. He's now being retried for some of those charges, including second-degree murder. And tonight, I have to tell you, ABC 10's Austin Castro was there in the courtroom today, and he's live now with the latest update.
So, Austin, break down what we learned from court today.
Well, Chris and Laura, both sides here agreed that the new date for that retrial will be January 20th of 2026 and is now expected to last roughly 10 weeks. Now, among the charges he is set to face once again include 2 counts of second-degree murder. Now, in addition to that, Dominguez will also be tried again on a single count of attempted murder. Now, on those charges, the previous jury could not come to a unanimous decision, leading to a mistrial. The judge today also asking both sides this question ahead of the start of that new trial.
I wanted to ask the parties to keep an open mind regarding trying to resolve this case, and it sounds like the parties have met and conferred and made some effort at that.
The idea of a confidential settlement conference was brought up, which the prosecution said they would explore, but a decision on whether or not to actually have one was not made at this time. And again, that new trial is set for January 20th of 2026. An entirely new jury now set to be brought in to review those charges from the mistrial last month. Reporting in Woodland, Austin Castro, ABC 10.
Austin, we know it's been such a long road for all the families involved. Keep us posted as you learn more. Austin, thank you for that update.
And tonight we're talking about the controversial Care Court program aimed at addressing severe mental health issues and homelessness. And it's all part of Governor Gavin Newsom's multi-billion-dollar plan to overhaul the state's behavioral health system. I want to bring in ABC 10's Becca Habecker, who's joining us live in studio, because Becca, you've been really digging into the numbers and also looking at the results so far.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Care Court launched as a pilot in some counties nearly 2 years ago now, with other counties launching Care Court this past December. Now, our colleague Jackson Ellison and I sought to find out, is Care Court working to get people off the street? Well, the results are mixed.
My daughter kept falling through all those cracks.
Elizabeth Kino Hopper has filed a petition to get her daughter involved in Care Court in Sacramento County after other attempts to get her services haven't worked.
I have full confidence that over time, this program is actually doing exactly what it was intended to do, is to recognize there are some people who will be very difficult to engage in treatment. And they will need repeat opportunities.
To qualify for Care Court, which stands for Community Assistance, Recovery, and Empowerment, someone must be an adult with a diagnosis of schizophrenia spectrum or other psychotic disorders with severe and persistent symptoms and not already stabilized.
The petitions are filed directly with the court. The judge is the one that makes the prima facie review on whether they meet, on paper at least, the criteria for the Care Court program.
Nicole Cable is the health program manager for Sacramento County Behavioral Health Services. She oversees the county's implementation of Care Court.
I think what it's doing is really helping people.
She says if the Care Court judge determines a person meets the criteria, he orders the county to go make contact with that person and give an in-person assessment. And if they qualify, offer Care Court participation.
We are bound by that mandate, but the clients are still able to say no.
She says since launching Care Court in December, Sacramento County has had some 75 petitions on behalf of individuals. Of those, 10 people are on care agreements.
A care agreement can be all sorts of different things, housing supports, therapy, medication, really anything that our service providers can offer.
But what if someone rejects care or doesn't meet the criteria?
Our data doesn't really tell the story. You look at it and you'll see that we've dismissed a lot of the cases or closed referrals because they didn't meet criteria. I think what's not shown is that for all of those clients, we're looking at what else do they qualify for? How else can we get them into services?
We are very opposed to Care Court for a number of reasons.
Samuel Jan is senior policy attorney at Disability Rights California. He says concerns include the high cost of Care Court. According to a legislative analysis, the cost per individual in the CARE Act for fiscal year 2023-24, that's the court's pilot period in only a handful of counties, was approximately $713,000. At the time, the program had only 100 participants.
If we want to address homelessness, we need affordable housing, that money would be much better served going towards, community-based voluntary services and housing.
Elizabeth acknowledges the program isn't perfect, but it is giving her hope for her daughter.
I still do support the CARE Act and CARE Court because every effort is made to do everything voluntarily.
The California Health and Human Services Agency says statewide more than 2,000 Care Court petitions have been filed and more than 1,000 other individuals have been offered services following an initial connection with Care Court. The governor's office tells ABC10 they're pleased with the early results and continue to work on full-scale implementation. Alex.
All right, Becca, thank you. And for more information on what Care Court looks like in other local counties, you can find more of our reporting over on our website, abc10.com.
Several businesses in Manteca say they're already feeling the impacts of a mile-long roadway project that recently got underway. And they say those impacts are not good, so they reached out to ABC10.
ABC10's Gabriel Porras spoke to businesses and customers in a story you'll see first on ABC10.
For 25 years, Manteca drivers had a choice, left or right off Main Street into the bays at Dribble's Car Wash. But that choice is gone.
We were not made aware of any of it as business owners prior to it passing city council and then being notified.
Notified of this, a multi-million-dollar city project to make a mile of Main Street safer by adding crosswalks, bike lanes, and this concrete median.
Not opposed to safety, just opposed to the removal of entrances to our businesses.
Construction still underway. But at his auto parts store, Paul Machado says the difference has been immediate.
We used to average about, 15 to 20 retail customers, and now we're at like 5 or 6.
One customer told Paul if he hadn't already paid for a part, he would have kept on driving.
Because he said he had to flip around by Burger King, and he said he got almost hit. Our delivery driver has a hard time getting out of here too sometimes, especially depending on what time of the day. There's a line of traffic and they won't let us cut in.
There's also now a parking problem. Before the project started, people were able to park right here along the street. That is no longer an option, but that's also one of the only places that people visiting this food truck could park, which means they've had to close down.
We just wish we knew that this was going on.
I'm a reporter with ABC10 News. We reached out to the city of Manteca and the city manager for an interview Thursday, but didn't hear back.
You can get around it. It's not going to end your day, but it is frustrating.
We just thought that they would tell us.
Now, with the concrete set and the turning lanes erased, these businesses and their customers turning in say they're left stuck.
We've all been here 20 plus years, all along this way. We just want to know that we're valued.
In Manteca, Gabriel Porras, ABC10.
Now, keep in mind the project was approved back in December. It is set to be completed sometime in August. Well, the Department of Justice and Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, met today. The meeting happened in Florida. Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence for her role in enticing and recruiting underage girls to be sexually abused by Epstein.
ABC's Perry Russum reports on the latest from Washington.
A high-stakes meeting today in Tallahassee, Florida.
Do you have anything to say today?
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche walking into the U.S. Attorney's office to speak with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's convicted co-conspirator. Blanche is President Trump's former criminal defense attorney and says he wants to know if Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims. Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence and has been trying to get out on appeal ever since. Her attorney today.
We're looking forward to a productive day.
The Wall Street Journal reports Blanche and Attorney General Pam Bondi informed President Trump back in May his name appears multiple times in the Epstein files. The Journal reports other high-profile names are also in the Epstein files, but appearing in them is not a sign of wrongdoing. ABC's Catherine Falders questioning the president last week.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
She's given us just a very quick briefing. And in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
Bondi now says nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution, adding, as part of our routine briefing, we made the president aware of the findings.
The fact that he was informed and the decision was made to refuse to release the files smacks of a cover-up.
On Capitol Hill, as more Republicans call for the Epstein files to be released.
Just put everything out, make it as transparent as you can.
Republican Congressman James Comer leading the charge for the House Oversight Committee, issuing a subpoena to depose Maxwell and plans to subpoena the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files.
We're not doing that for any political reasons. When we go home and listen to our constituents, they're very interested in the Epstein files.
The meeting today lasting 6 hours. Maxwell's attorney says she answered all of the questions and answered them honestly. He did not say if there would be another meeting. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Perry, thank you. Well, President Trump has unveiled a plan that he says will lead to America's, quote, global dominance of the artificial intelligence race. The plan focuses on accelerating AI projects and expanding in the U.S. It will do this through cutting down federal red tape and fast-tracking project permits. Critics say the framework favors industry over safety, with few guardrails to protect jobs, privacy, or children. The White House says most of the plan can be implemented within a year. Wrestling legend Hulk Hogan died today. The WWE confirmed his death, calling Hogan one of pop culture's most recognizable figures.
Hogan was 71 years old. ABC's Rena Roy has more on his life and career.
That signature mustache, the bandana, the bravado, entering the ring, ripping off his shirt. Fans today mourning the passing of wrestling legend Hulk Hogan. Police say emergency crews were called to his Clearwater, Florida home this morning for a serious medical issue. He was taken to the hospital where he died.
The Clearwater Police Department is conducting a death investigation, which is standard in these types of cases. There are no signs of foul play or suspicious activity related to this call for service at this time.
Hulk Hogan, whose real name was Terry Bollea, was known for his over-the-top personality, rising to fame in the 80s and helping put the WWE on the world map with the phenomenon Hulkamania. Fans going wild over his signature leg drop and iconic matchups against other wrestling heavy hitters like Mr. T, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and The Rock.
Wrestling is starting to make a comeback. For me, it's tremendous. I mean, being the world's heavyweight champion from Madison Square Garden, the WWF champion, people all across the country in the airports and just everywhere I go, from the 7-Elevens to the small shopping centers, they recognize me.
Over the years, Hogan appearing in movies like Rocky III and commercials, and hosting hit reality show Hogan Knows Best featuring his family. Hogan was temporarily removed from the WWE Hall of Fame when a 2007 recording of him making racist remarks and using a racist slur were made public in 2015. Hogan apologized on Good Morning America, asking fans for forgiveness.
I'm not a racist. I never should have said what I said. It was wrong. I'm embarrassed by it.
The WWE saying today the organization is saddened to learn the WWE Hall of Famer passed away, calling him one of pop culture's most recognizable figures. Last year, he spoke at the Republican National Convention, calling Trump his hero, ripping off his shirt as he did for years in the ring. Hulk Hogan was 71 years old and leaves behind his wife and 2 children. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, let's turn to weather now. Look at this beautiful video. Talk about a picture-perfect day across most of the area. This is drone video from West Sacramento along the Sacramento River. Brendan just spoiling us all this week. You know, I mean, it's just hard to stay inside when you have these type of temperatures, especially in July.
Right, picture perfect. We are loving it.
Yeah, especially when a lot of the other half of the country is dealing with some extreme heat, very humid heat as well. We will absolutely take the low to mid 80s that we've had today. The one thing we do have to talk about, though, are the thunderstorms in the high country. There's not that much in the central Sierra right now. We've had a couple of isolated storms roll just south of Tahoe about 3 hours ago or so. At this point, just some scattered showers out there, but this may not be it. I am tracking the potential for a thunderstorm to come in late this evening, closer to midnight. We'll time that out on Futurecast in just a second. In the northeast part of the state, though, there's a lot more activity. The strongest storms have now started to wind down a little bit, but we still have a lot of lightning, some heavy rain, and potentially some pea-sized hail with some storms just to the east of 395, about 30 to 60 minutes away from Highway 89. Places like Portola, Quincy, Greenville, and Chester still could get some storms within the next hour or so. And there's more pop-up thunderstorms across the far northern part of the state, near Shasta, and even further to the north, closer to Wairika and along Highway 97. Of course, there's nothing in our neck of the valley. 85 is what we made it to in Sacramento today. 87 Stockton, 87 Modesto, 89 in Marysville, 81 Placerville, and mid-70s up in the high country. One of the warmest days we've had in a while, because we've been used to the upper 70s and low 80s. So these mid-80s today, it feels basically the same, but the number looks a little bigger than we've seen the last few days. 85 in Sacramento, 87 Stockton, 89 Manteca, 84 in Tracy, 87 in Modesto, 77 Placerville right now, and 67 up in South Lake Tahoe. There's been clouds and storms in the area. Looking out over Sacramento right now, 85 degrees, a little bit warmer than this time yesterday, but winds out of the southwest at 10 miles per hour. I expect us to be in those mid to upper 70s by 8 o'clock, mid 60s as we get closer to midnight. We'll have a few clouds through the overnight hours as well. About 57 to start Friday morning, 59 Stockton, 59 in Modesto, 55 in Jackson, 40 up in Truckee, 43 in South Lake Tahoe. Notice the rain icons as well. Again, could see some showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm overnight. Friday afternoon, we're back in those low to mid 80s. Still going to be very mild for the time of year across much of the valley, but it's going to be another day with Sierra thunderstorms. So let's jump into it. So this is about 11 o'clock now tonight, and notice we've got a storm rolling through the Tahoe area. This is going to track off to the east as it falls apart, moving down the elevation. So if we get a storm, the remnants of that storm could work its way in towards Placerville, places like Auburn, and potentially could see some light showers north of Sacramento up towards Yuba City, closer to Colusa as well. We'll zoom out now and time out tomorrow because it's going to be another day with widespread Sierra thunderstorms. By noon, already starting to see showers and weak storms popping up along the crest near Tahoe. By 1:30, 2 o'clock, now we've got those thunderstorms firing off. Once again, the bulk of the activity is going to be right along the 395 corridor north of Tahoe, but still those widespread thunderstorms with the potential for lightning and some small hail. It's going to be there all afternoon tomorrow. Basically doing again what we saw today, but with a few more storms, especially in the central Sierra and the Tahoe Basin. So Friday, looking at those thunderstorms and some lingering storms into Saturday as well, but that's just going to be a lot more isolated than what we're going to see tomorrow. Some isolated dry lightning possible once again tomorrow afternoon as well, with the biggest concern going to be once again along 395 to the north. So for Friday, thunderstorms in the high country. These could start some new fires, be storm and fire ready. Hike early, be off the peaks by noon. You'll be back in town, back towards shelter so you don't get caught in a thunderstorm. In the valley, 82 tomorrow, 81 on Saturday, a little bit warmer on Sunday, jump into the mid to upper 80s. Then we're in the 90s, but these are very seasonal 90s to start next week. And by the time we get to August, we are back in the upper 80s.
It just goes to show how different this July is from last year, because the 90s we would have been like, wow, what a relief, finally the 90s, right? But now we're like, ooh, it's going to be hot.
Normal feels warm this year.
So true. Okay, Brendan, thank you.
Well, it's the little roadside fruit stand with a whole lot more going on. John Bartel here, making a little pit stop at Simonian Farms in Fresno. At the corner of Clovis and Jensen Avenue is one of Fresno, California's oldest roadside attractions. A farm stand that's also a living museum of agriculture, Americana, and, well, a whole lot of stuff. Where did they find all of these artifacts here?
Everywhere, on any travel that they would take.
Between the pedal cars, antique bicycles, and lines of agriculture equipment lies a story with deep roots. 5 generations of Simonian family history dating back to 1901, starting with Armenian immigrant Bagdazar Simonian.
Well, the very first Simonian came in through Ellis Island in 1901. Bought property here in Fresno. It went down through generation after generation.
Longtime manager Stacy Grote says Mr. Simonian started the family farm stand at age 16 and quickly became profitable because it stood at the intersection of 2 major roads. One of their signature products, sun-dried raisins.
Those are Thompsons. These are golden Thompsons.
Golden Thompson
Yes,
raisins.
correct.
Seedless raisins. The raisins were so popular that in 1995, President Bill Clinton stopped into Simonian Farms to buy a bag on his campaign trail. Did you have like the Secret Service or?
We did. They pretty much took over the entire business. Within 20 minutes, they rearranged it and made it safe for the president.
The Simonians have a bit of an addiction with collecting things.
They were also avid motorcycle riders. They both rode Harleys. So they would make stops, they'd find things, they'd go specifically antiquing, looking for them so that they could bring it home.
As the family business and collection grew, the farm stand turned into a bit of a tourist attraction and museum. Antique farm equipment lines the property as a tribute to the San Joaquin Valley agriculture history. And standing tall at the center is a monument that Mr. Simonian dedicated to Japanese farm workers who were sent to internment camps during World War II.
He was highly influenced by Japanese farmers when he was a young man and learned so much about farming from them, and this was his way of giving back.
The wood used in the monument was actually taken from an internment camp in Poston, Arizona.
We're surrounded by some photos of how they slept, how they ate, how they continued to farm.
Simonian Farms is a whole lot more than a produce stand. So whether you're here to grocery shop, gander at the bike collection, or taste a presidential fruit snack, Simonian Farms has a little something for every traveler. From Simonian Farms in Fresno, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
They are the first family of Marvel Comics, and today they'll make their first steps into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. ABC 10's Marcus Allen is here with more about the Fantastic Four. So it's out today. What time can people go see this?
Walt, I've never seen this before. Not just out today, an hour and 18 minutes from now, the very first screening. It starts at 8 o'clock. I've never seen a screening this early. Maybe 9:15, not this early. Hey, if I say, who's your daddy? The internet resoundingly says, Walt Gray or Pedro Pascal. Let's talk about the latter right now because he's the dad in this movie. I love this movie in so many ways that I'll tell you about in a moment. In the meantime, I got him singing. Take a look.
Fantastic Four. It lives in your dreams. That's the thing.
That was awesome. Unfortunately, that's all our time. Good to see you.
Bye.
And you, sir, you are a father figure in every genre, the ultimate protector in everything you put your hands to. Don't you ever just want to sit it out? Because here you are again, literally stretching yourself thin to save everybody.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I think I'll sit this one out. Vanessa? You know, I think this more than anything that I've gotten to do, unless I'm remembering, stage work in front of like a 99-seat theater, has been the experience of being in an ensemble with peers that you look up to in such a deep way, and the company of humor and intelligence and sensitivity. It really was a real adventure. We're all stepping into this big thing. Characters that have been in movies already, characters that have devoted fans years before we ever stepped into their shoes, and that could be really scary. And then we have this opportunity to all like step into it together as a family and and make each other laugh and look after one another. And it was just it was indescribely special.
It is special. The movie is remarkably heartwarming. The guy, by the way, on the end there, if he looks familiar, that's Eben Moss-Bachrach. He's on my favorite show, The Bear. So you got two of my players from two of my favorite shows in this major motion picture. Coming up in a moment, they're going to take over Good Morning America. And tomorrow at 9:30, Take a Look. An entire Take a Look Fantastic Four takeover. This is a huge deal. Walt, I don't want to go nerdy on you, but Fox, 20th Century Fox, owned Fantastic Four. Now that they've been absorbed by Disney, this is the first time Fantastic Four has merged with the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You could care less, but I'm trying.
So this is great. How true is this movie to the comic book, the original comic books?
I'm glad you asked that, because the last set of Fantastic Four movies, this is a reboot, not very much at all. This is so orthodox to the comic. I think people that love the comic are going to love it. And again, it has that retro, futuristic Jetsons, 1960s Mad Men world. That's cool too.
Okay, so we'll look forward to this on your program, 9:30 Friday morning.
That's right.
That's tomorrow morning.
Look at the time, yes.
Yeah, this week has just flown by, has it not?
No kidding.
Okay, thank you, sir.
We know that the news stories are filled with challenges and hardships, but incredible things are happening every day, from neighbors helping neighbors to inspiring acts of kindness. Each week, we are sharing stories of people who are really making a difference right here in our community. So tonight, in our Champions of Hope, we introduce you to a man whose Roseville family is hoping to keep his legacy alive. Tiny Hernandez was born and raised right in Roseville.
Anytime someone doesn't know me, all I have to say is I'm Tiny Hernandez's granddaughter. And they go, oh, wow, I know Tiny Hernandez.
For 20 years, he worked as a custodian at Roseville High School and worked for Roseville Railroad. Over the decades, he mentored hundreds of young athletes in both baseball and football, always showing up with a glove in one hand and words of encouragement in the other.
Coaching was his hobby. He takes so much pride in it. I would say he shares more about coaching than anything.
Now his granddaughter Marissa Hernandez is hoping to make his legacy permanent by having a park or street named in his honor.
A lot of the parks, I mean, they're named after someone, and it's usually because they made an impact on the community. And I go, I mean, if these people can do it, why can't I do it? We've been here for generations. My grandparents went to Roseville High School. They met in high school. Happy anniversary!
Marissa brought the idea to the city of Roseville, starting with a petition that has gathered over 600 signatures and heartfelt messages.
It went from 100, 200, 300, and right now we finally hit 600 signatures, and it's been overwhelming. My grandpa can't even believe it.
Her dream is to see his name cemented into Roseville, ideally in historic Old Town, near the very places where he spent decades giving back to the community he loves.
He's a hardworking guy, and he puts his heart into everything that he does, and he expects nothing in return.
Whether it becomes a park, street, or field, the family hopes it will stand as a tribute to the values he continues to live by: service, kindness, and a deep love for his hometown.
His family is at the root of everything that he does. It's his everything.
And while city officials have yet to formally consider the petition, Tiny's story is resonating. Across social media, people throughout the community are posting their stories and memories about the impact that he had, whether it was coaching or support, but just how he truly cared for so many people. Of course, we'll keep you updated on this.
Thanks so much for watching this ABC 10 Plus recap. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. Take care. I'll see you next time.